So the last thing that we're going to be talking about today, let's see how we're doing for time. Oh, we're pretty much out of time, so I'm going to talk really fast through this part. We're coming into season. Really important that we make sure that we're executing on season 100%. So as we get closer and closer to season, we just want to make sure we take every step possible to make sure that our associates are 100% ready and they're subconsciously selling to their full potential. So earlier in the year, if you were with us back in March or April, we came out with a nice little tool to use with your associates called the Sales Associate Evaluation. I've got a link to it, and we're going to walk through it really quickly. I want you guys to use this. Every single associate that works for us needs to be evaluated on 3 different transactions by November 22nd. That's Tuesday of next week. We want to just go ahead and get this done before Thanksgiving. This evaluation tool isn't meant to be a stressful thing. Make it fun in your stores. Have your associates evaluate you right after you evaluate them, or have you go ahead and go first. It can be interactive. This is really good for everybody to make sure we're just hitting all of the best practices with every single customer that's walking in. Once you've done these evaluations 3 times, upload them, email them over to your area manager. CC me in on it. I'm going to have a corporate checklist, just checking everybody off, making sure we got everybody through this workflow. So let's run through the sales associate evaluation form real quick, so everybody knows what we're expecting. A customer comes into the stores. The first thing that we really want to do is make sure that within a couple seconds of them walking in, no more than 5, we're looking up at them, making eye-to-eye contact, giving a little smile, saying, "Hey, we'll be with you in just 1 second. I appreciate you being patient with us." As soon as you do that, it's a major tension cutter. Otherwise, customers hate it when they're not acknowledged when they're walked into the stores. But as soon as you acknowledge them with a little friendly smile and tell them that you'll be right with them, you've bought yourself several minutes before they're going to get flustered again. And if there is a long line, and just every 2 to 3 minutes, just go ahead and look right up. Once again, apologize to everybody. Let them know you'll be right with them. Buys you plenty of time. No one's going to be frustrated, or pretty much no one's going to be frustrated with you when you're taking those extra steps. When that customer finally does get to the counter, go ahead and ask them how you can help them today. And whenever you ask them how you can help them today, ask that question without any presumptiveness and listen to what it is that they're saying. Maybe they're coming in and they're saying, "Hey, I've just got this teapot that I need to ship out." Whenever they start to tell you that they've got something they need to ship out, listen to it really objectively and ask open-ended questions about that item. So they've got a teapot that they're shipping out. Like, are we shipping it to some family or friends, or who are we shipping it to today? Maybe she says that she's shipping it to her aunt because her mother just passed away and they're getting rid of the stuff. Well, by asking those open-ended questions, you're opening up the door to selling. This customer doesn't really even just need shipping. They probably deserve and could utilize a conversation about our freight and estate packing services. Maybe that customer, whenever you're asking them what they're shipping, they're saying, "Oh, I've got some forms to send out," and you say, "Oh, what's the what are you shipping these forms for?" Well, maybe they've got a presentation and they just ran down the FedEx office to print these presentations that you could have easily printed for them. Ask those open-ended questions. You'll be surprised at how many big sales you can get out of open-ended questions versus closed questions. If Michael was in here, he would tell you that those 2 examples that I just used are not coincidental or just random things I made up off the top of my head. They're legitimate things that have came into our stores that landed us several $1,000 freight jobs, or several $100 print jobs, just by asking those questions. It's how you're able to walk into a store and make the store be up 5, 10, 20% versus having a flat to declining store. Once you've asked those questions and we're moving along into the process, we need to be talking to every customer that walks in about the pack and ship guarantee. Whether they come in with a pristine packing box because they've been packing items in boxes for the last 30 years, or whether it's just a grandma who used an old reused Amazon box. It's important. We're really doing a disservice to our customers if we're not at least bringing up the fact that when we pack and ship these items are in the store with our materials, not only are they getting it much better packed 90% of the time, but it's really just buying insurance or buying some coverage for them. Because as soon as you do it, as soon as that damage claim goes through, it's automatically going to get the thumbs up. versus being very critically judged on how well they packed it according to the 150 pages of UPS packing standards. After we talk to them about packing, ask them if they would like to declare a value on the package. I hear this way too often, and I can't emphasize this enough. We are not offering insurance on the package. We are offering for our customers to declare a value on their package. There's a big difference between declaring a value and insurance on the package. When you use the insurance language, you are opening us as a company up to liability in the event that it ever came to a lawsuit. We are offering declared value and just declared value. The phrasing that I like to use, or my exact wording that I use on this is, what's the estimated replacement value of the contents of the box? Say they come back to me with $300. I say, would you like me to declare that value for you? 90% of the time, the answer is just yes, and the whole conversation of how much does it cost does not even come up. I really like that process, but it is really important if you use that process, you have to ask both questions, asking them what is the estimated replacement value and asking them if they would like to declare that value. The customer has to tell you that they want to declare the value. You cannot just put it in there. That is also a defranchisable concept. So very important that you're listening to your associates and you're getting that part 100% right. Next up, you type in the declared value. You have all of your shipping rates and options. Instead of asking them when they would like to get it there, we are now requiring every transaction to use the quoting tool. So you're going to go ahead and hit that quote button down at the bottom. It's going to print out. It's really important that you grab that thing as soon as it prints out. And you're going to take a pen and scratch through every option that is below UPS ground. We are not in the business of ripping our customers off, and there is not any reason that I can think of why we would ever need to ship an item later than, I can think of 1 to 2 ridiculous scenarios of why we would ever need to choose an option below UPS ground. So go ahead and scratch through all of those options. Let them know that UPS ground is the slowest, cheapest, working our way up to the most expensive option on the top. Let us know which one works best for them. Have them circle the option that they want to go with, and then we punch in the option. Last year we piloted the concept of the quoted tool, and what we found is in the stores that we required to use it and confirmed we're done in every single transaction, the air to ground ratio increased 20%. But despite the fact that it was 100% effective in our stores, the next month after we forced everybody to put it in the stores, and they went up 20% in air to ground ratio, the following month it went exactly back to what it was before. Does anybody want to guess why it went exactly back to what it was before? You guys all know the answer if you were here a year ago. It's because after the first month, everybody stopped using them. You will definitively see an increase in your air to ground ratio when you're using this tool. So now that the less paper or the printable PSOs in place, we're just forcing everybody to go in with the quote tool, and it's a non-option. Just so you guys know, mid to late part of next year, they're estimating that this is all going to go digital with a customer-facing screen. We're just using this as a patch until that customer-facing screen goes live, because you never know how long technology is actually going to take to get implemented in the UPS store. So we get our signed PSO. We've used the quoting tool. We ask them if there's anything else that they need. Very important to ask that question. I personally like to make this really fun. I'll ask them if there's anything else they need. They typically will always say no. I'll say, are you sure you don't want a banner the size of, you want a banner, a picture of yourself that's 20 feet tall so that you can hang it up and let your husband know that you're always watching them. Throw out something fun out there. Throw out, any ridiculous scenarios. It's going to communicate that you do printing services. It's going to communicate that we have other services that we can offer in the stores at the very least. Whenever you finish the transaction, it's important to me that we provide the transaction information to the customer specific way. On the top, we're going to do the bounce back coupon. Underneath the bounce back coupon, we're going to do one of the Epson receipts. And underneath that, there's going to be the little laser printed detail. So hand the customer the receipt. Say on the top is a fantastic coupon for blank. Communicate what is that coupon. On the second page of the receipt is your tracking numbers. And on the final page, if you don't remember which tracking number is which, it'll give you all the detailed information on it, as well as when the packages are going to be delivered. Make sure that during the course of the transaction, this is a 2 to 3 minute interaction with customers. You need to bring up another profit center at least once. I personally like to bring up print. There's something we can print for everybody in the stores. Bring something up at some point in the interaction. Whenever you're handing the customer the receipt, this is the moment when I give it to them and say, thank you so much for coming into the store, Jason. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you back next time. Really important to me that you use a customer's name. People love hearing their own names. There's a lot of psychological research that suggests that people will go back to retail establishments when they feel like those people know their name. And we have the information anyways. As soon as you punch in the telephone number, you get their name. Through the whole process, you're getting their name. Make sure that you're using it in that conversation and invite them to come back to the store. This is a really good reminder. I recommend everybody do this at least once a week, but this week especially, let's make sure we do it 3 times before Thanksgiving.